And we're
Hello,
live.
everybody, and welcome back to the 71st episode of The Corner. I'm really thrilled to have all you listeners listening in for this epic podcast episode of The Corner. I do not know yet if this is going to be on The Corner or if it's going to be on the Scandinavian Corner, but we'll find out eventually, folks. So what's up, yo? We are close to summertime, where it's going to be hot, it's going to be comfortable, it's going to be barbecue weather, like all that usual crap. But I'm glad that we're there, yo. On the other end of the line here, we have Troy Tortuga Trustrup, or Troy Trustrup, live from Denmark, of all places in the world. What's up, man? How is the weather in Denmark?
It is good, but I thought you were from here too. So.
I'm not from anywhere, man. I'm just in the corner here where it is white and where there's nothing. So I don't know what the weather's like. But yeah, man, you're saying it's
you're above time and space.
Yeah, man, I'm above time and space. Exactly. I'm above it. So
does that have anything with a particular bottle of wine to do?
It probably does. I have killed a bottle of wine tonight. But as you're seeing, I'm drinking like water or a lot of ice, trying to sober up. So here I am. And let me carry on here. Troy, what is the most interesting part in your week so far? Starting from Monday midnight.
Monday midnight.
Until now.
That has got to be when I wrote. Actually, I don't know. I actually think it is the 10-line short story that I wrote yesterday. Because it was an idea that I had that not all stories need to be so long and need to be so what do you call it, circumstantial and have a deep plot and everything. There are poems too, and poems have a certain story about them as well. So what I thought, what I wanted to do was just to try to see if I could write a 10-liner, as I call it, a 10-liner, and I did, and it's called English Breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah, again, I say English Breakfast.
Do you want to read it for us?
Sure, it's just 10 lines. That's the beautiful thing about a mini short story, as I call it. You can quickly read it in two or 3 minutes. So should I start?
Yes, please.
All right. English Breakfast. Ron walked down Lowell Street, the one near Park Avenue, one beautiful Sunday morning. He had enjoyed a very fulfilling English breakfast earlier, which his wife, Emma, made for him. Sweet and spicy baked beans, almost creamy scrambled eggs to perfection, golden browned crispy bacon, smooth porridge without any lumps whatsoever, and what was probably the most aromatic coffee Ron had ever tasted. He was so full that he had to take a 20-minute nap after his 7-year-old daughter had hilariously surprised him with the sweetest "good morning" smile. She had shown him a beautiful drawing of a gnome while they ate together. Before Ron had laid himself down for his digestive nap, he had kissed Emma and Emily goodbye, whereafter they went off to work and school. He still remembered Emily's cute wave at him. All this perforated his mind before the frustrating thought of his unemployment entered again. The end.
Wow. What a fantastic masterpiece right there amongst Ibsen, Shakespeare, and all these famous writers, Mark Twain, there comes Troy Trustrup with this magnificent 10-page story. No, I'm sorry, 10-page. I meant to say 10-line.
10-liner.
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 10-liner. Oh man, damn. Right up there, man, with Tolkien and Grisham and all them folks, you know. Epic, man.
Yeah,
Epic,
I don't know
like,
about that, but you got to also think about that. A lot of these famous poets and writers didn't become famous before their death, because like a lot of literature is, let's just call it, it ages like fine wine. It becomes better with age, but also, of course, without a good publicist and without good certain circumstances, and of course you have to be able to have a set of social contacts as well that can distribute it. You could write the most beautiful fucking story of all time, and it would just fall to the floor anyway.
Indeed, man, indeed. So this 10-liner was the most interesting piece since Monday at midnight.
Yeah, well, because it was the most original idea I've had this week. Because this is also something to do with, of course, the quarantine and COVID is like killing inspiration and creativity a little bit. But yeah, I haven't seen, like, the reason why I think it's unique and original is because I haven't heard of anyone who has done this in the last month. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, then to me it is pretty unique right now. So
like I wish I had something similar interesting to say, but you know, like I've just generally been annoyed since Monday, because I asked my boss, can I have free on Wednesday? No, you can't. Why not? Because there might be a lot of shit coming down, you know. And I am trying to explain to him how logistics is working, and this is the same man that thinks that I don't have any clue on how logistics is working. So I tell him, you know, how it's working is that every motherfucker in the country right now that needs anything has already ordered it, because they would have ordered it by Friday, so they had it the latest on Monday, right? So from now on, hombre, shit's gonna die down, and it's going to be like tumbleweed in Red Dead Redemption right here, where nothing is fucking happening, right? And he don't believe that, and just says again, like no, there's no way that you can predict that, Patrick. And there might be like tons of shit coming down those assembly lines in a minute. So, you know, like, you gotta stay ready. Nope, you can't have the day off. And what the fuck happens on Wednesday? He himself takes the fucking day off. I'm stuck.
No.
And I'm looking at empty fucking assembly lines like I had predicted all week, you know. So like there I am, like, you know, like sitting like bored out of my damn mind, looking at these empty assembly lines for an entire fucking day. So I pull up my phone to finish The Great Gatsby. That's what I did. For 8 hours I read fucking Gatsby.
Wow, that reminds me that actually, now that we're on the subject of literature as well, that reminds me of a poem I also wrote at some point, which I don't know, maybe someday is going to lie in a classroom of some kids that are going to fucking analyze what the hell went on in my fucking crazy mind.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I can read that aloud. It's not that long. Yeah, idling, idling by Troy Trustrup. The following poem is not copy-pasted, i.e., everything is written out. Idling, 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 idling. Why? The art of uncreative writing. The end. That was one of the more experimental poems.
Wow, man. Yeah, like I definitely feel like some kind of like connection to that.
Yeah.
Because
it's all about idling.
Yeah. It's all about fucking idling. I was like idling for fucking 8 hours. I might as well have been home idling in RDR too, but the only difference is that now I get paid for it, you know.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like in my case, you know, the money isn't everything, you know.
Yeah.
Since you know why. And so this was just like a terrible, terrible day, man. Like drinking coffee, doing this shit, and my coworker who was like still getting asserted into things. You know, like I'm trying to learn him that
Teach him
that you do not have to fucking play by their book. You don't fucking constantly have to be like a pleaser. You know, like let me tell you about this guy for just humor you for a minute. We all got this bonus on like $2,000 or $3,000 or something, right, for the month.
Yeah.
But he only got like $150 paid out after tax because he's so new. He's only been there since Christmas or something, right? And the fucking douchebag boss, you know, like saying that, hey man, you don't have to be so fucking cheap like Norway Pat over there who only buys his cake like once a fucking year. So you can drive over to the baker and get us something sweet to eat, you know. and I'm like sitting like I'm like thinking like fuck, I hope that this guy has the decency and the common sense to say no, but no, of course he says yes. He says, yes boss, you want me to suck your dick as well? I'll drive over to the baker and get some sweet to eat. And I'm sitting like shaking my fucking head, you know, like but he goes, you know, like off to the baker, and he comes back with like 2 fucking massive cakes and 6 huge ass rum balls, you know.
They're like cakes with rum in them.
Yeah. And you know, and I was just, you know, how much did you pay for all this? And he's like, not that much, about $60.
The fuck, for cake?
Yeah, because like, he bought 2 huge cakes and these 6 huge rum balls, right? And you know, like I'm fucking baffled, and you know, like I'm like trying to tell him, you like, you don't have to be this fucking pleaser, you know, like wanting to please everybody all around you, right? Be your own man, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But no, I don't get anything that computes to be like, no, I have to do the right thing, Patrick.
Wow. He sounds very consumer, like your standard typical consumerist.
Yeah.
Consumeristic consumer.
Yeah. And
consumeristic consumer.
Yeah. Like the police are like.
I've also had 2 beers tonight.
When I talked to my woman when I came home about it, you know, because it was on my mind, she tells me that he's worried about the job, Patrick. You know, he don't want to lose it. And I'm like, oh, why the fuck ain't I like that then? Well, because you got money, Patrick, and some people don't. And I'm like, I know what you're going to say, but you know, like I still think that like regarding the fucking money, you can be your own man. You can be your fucking boss you can be your own boss holding your head up high, and saying, put your foot down and say like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Fire me then if that's a problem for you.
Yeah. Right. And then you'll just but like, I don't know, man. This is why I would actually I gotta think about this for a little while.
Yeah.
No, actually, I would want to just like take my backpack and just fucking disappear somewhere for a week just to see how it is to live without any money whatsoever. That would be interesting to see how long it would last before I would shake in my knees and fucking crave civilization, crave society again.
I don't know. I mean, like that.
Because
it really depends.
I believe we are more addicted to the money and to our jobs than we think. Because the alternative is the wild.
I would say it's a question about how interesting you can make things for yourself. Like, can you get on your knees in the middle of the forest and watch an ant carry something, to its anthill, and be like, wow, that's fucking amazing. That's fucking amazing.
Just sit there. Wow.
That's fucking amazing. If you can be that guy, right, and be like amazed of everything that's happening in nature, then I would say that you're not going to have any problems with it for a long while. Since you can be amazed by small things like that. You can be amazed by watching a bird build its nest. You can be amazed about a bird grabbing a worm for eating, right? Or you can be amazed of a worm digging its way up to the surface in the rain.
I gotta say, I do think that the fresh air that you have around you all the time, like if you are a homeless person or if you are a wanderer, a hiker, or a nomad for that matter in Mongolia, like the fresh air you have around you is contributing to actually giving your mind that transcending spirit.
Of course.
Because
of course.
Yeah, as this is actually something that I wrote to you earlier. I think that you read. This thing that we as humans have to break out of our own minds, because the nature and the fucking earth gets too boring for us eventually. And so I would just like to read a comment I wrote. You read this earlier, but just for the viewers here or the listeners. That I wrote on this Red Dead Redemption 2 music, A Quiet Time, where I wrote, "This is life. Everything in life can be boiled down to this. No matter where you are, what you are doing, or how stressed you are, no matter if we're talking 1899 or 2021, ecstasy is necessary for humans. An object without it is called a robot." Meaning that if you don't have if you don't have a spirit, if you don't have a enthusiasm, like I'm putting into my words right now, like I could say the same sentence. An object without it is called a robot. That's just a sentence on its own. But if I say it with emphasis, an object without it is called a robot. That's the excitement of the human spirit, if you ask me. And why?
Why?
What is the formula for that? How can you reproduce that? If you were AI,
I don't know. How would you?
No, but because the question is valid, because this is what makes us humans. The ecstasy, the thing that you experience when you drink, or when you take drugs, or when you go for a run, the endorphins,
Wow.
or when you take in fresh air from the nature all around you, or when you read a poem, or when you... I'm running out of examples here, but there's tons more. Like, all this stuff is what makes us human.
Wow.
Art.
You know, like it just like
You look like yeah. Sorry, I'm almost done. Like my roomie who is painting a picture, which in some moments I can look at and think like, holy shit, that's boring. I don't know what to make of it. But then in a moment where I look at it while I'm cooking and then see, wow, that's a chair, even though it looks nothing like a chair. But in that moment, I'm thinking, fuck, man, that looks like a chair. Damn, I want to sit in that chair, even though it's on that picture. And that's what makes us human.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, like, you know, like a total flashback to a former warehouse where I worked at, where I was like having this chat with employee there, who said that he don't understand why humans have this, you know, like the need to get high, the need to drink alcohol, the need to become addicts.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, like I didn't think about it
Yeah.
at the time. What you just said now, you know, that it's a need for ecstasy. Because people can't just be content with being like, yeah, this is good enough for me. I'm not searching for anything else than this. Finding the gold in the river and going home to make love to my wife.
But the reason why, yeah, you're totally right. The reason why why he's asking the question is because in the eyes of society, it is logically that you should just be able to have a job, 8 hours a day. You go to the job, you input the numbers, you come home, you get your paycheck. It's logical.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and you should be able to be content in the eyes of society. But everybody knows that this is not reality, and it is boring.
Of course. Of course.
And that's what a lot of people don't get, that this mystic quality there is to. And I'm like, I mean, do you know anyone who doesn't drink? I mean, I know one of my friends. He doesn't drink because he gets this rash from drinking beer and
like actually no, because like I don't know. I feel like, you know, like everybody that don't drink is total psychopaths, but that's just my opinion. You know,
or my buddy who doesn't drink because he gets a rash, but he has other ways to get that ecstasy.
Yeah, that was my next thing. That like I do know other people that don't drink, but then they smoke weed, or they do mushrooms or something else. You know.
And my buddy, he is a fucking video gaming nerd. Like, all the video games that he has, holy shit, man. I mean, this would frighten you, all the games that he has and has completed, and he's completed them on Completionist, a lot of them. So yeah, like that may be his flaw, if you consider ecstasy a flaw at all.
Yeah.
Sure, you can consider drinking a flaw, but at the end of the day, it's just human nature. It is just that ecstasy.
It is.
As well as the video gaming.
It is.
Yeah.
And you said something else like earlier regarding this off the record, that this has been around since we were cavemen. The fermentation process of making things, like fermenting things to intoxicate ourselves.
Fun fact, even elephants are fermenting fruit which they pack in their trunk in order to become intoxicated.
Wow, that's
because
amazing.
Elephants are also bored of this world.
That's amazing, bro. You have so much insight. You do.
But let's take another poem as per the one I read before, and your job right now, which is called Drifting Mind.
Yep. Listening.
And it's a 2-word, like like every line has 1 or 2 words, or no 2 syllables. No, wait, no, not. I don't know, man. It's so hard to analyze my. Well, I'll just read it. Whatever. Drifting mind, idling. Why idle? Boring. That's final. Maybe though, it is needed to reflect, superseded, transcending into my mind, thoughts pending to become kind, uplifted, thrifted, yet so gifted, and it shifted, doing, try vital, luring, very binal, the end. Yeah,
wow,
that was one
man.
of the more,
Interesting poem.
Very impressionistic as well.
Yeah.
I think I
Very
actually
cool.
wrote this without any drugs in my mind. Like I'm considering coffee a drug.
Coffee is the drug.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
But yeah, man.
So yeah, do
Fucking
you know
epic.
anyone? Do you know anyone who doesn't drink coffee, play video games, or go for a run?
Nope.
No,
I don't.
because they don't exist. They are not human.
The robots.
Actually, they're and they're not animals either. They are not existing. They are like AI. They're a computer,
Yeah.
and computers are dead.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, that's also one of the topics of Westworld is what makes us human. So if AI is ever going to be human, it has to come up with a way to introduce this ecstasy into his own code.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Otherwise, it's not human. Well, that's a good conclusion, I think.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, you have any finishing thoughts on this podcast before we end it?
Yeah, we're on almost 30 minutes, so I don't see why we can't drag it out for 2 more minutes.
Yeah, we can drag it up 3 more minutes. That's why I'm asking you now if you have anything else to add.
I can read some more of these beautiful comments on this A Quiet Time music video on YouTube. There's a guy here who wrote talk to stranger. I mean, this is of course a comment on the commands that you can do in game when you like press talk to stranger. Tlak åt strang. Tackle åt
I get it.
sadringa. And then pass out.
What's the next country you want to visit? For cultural reasons.
The next what?
What's the next country you would want to visit for cultural reasons?
That would probably. You mean when COVID is not a factor anymore?
Yes.
That would probably be.
China?
No. I'm not going to China. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not going to that fat
Or
country.
Korea,
That's
where my
the
caps
thing.
is from? Bought and sold in Seoul, Korea, folks.
Well, like I've always wanted to go to I'm talking shit again. No, actually, because like I have a Ukrainian friend who's a girl who I made a deal with when I was in Bamberg that I would come visit her in Kiev
Whoa.
at some point.
Whoa.
So yeah, I'd probably go to Kiev.
Well, call me, man. I'll be happy to go with you and hang out in some
Yeah.
bar hustling pool. Well, well, you're off.
She even said I could stay on a mattress in her house.
Oh, that's epic, man. Well, remember to call me regarding that because I love to go to Kiev and hang out, drinking cheap beer, talking to cholos at the pub.
Looking at all the thousands of spires and towers they have there.
Yeah.
Like Ukraine is such a forgotten culture in that area.
It is, and it's also like such in between, you know, because they can't join the European Union because Russia or Putin don't want that, and he don't want that. Or Russia don't want that because they want to control the gas pipelines into Ukraine. So by joining the EU, then the Ukraine loses its power leverage. It loses the gas, and without the gas, its leverage is not high enough to join the European Union. So the result is that they are standing in a standstill between the European Union and Russia. Can't really do anything. Nothing's moving forward. Shit's gonna stay shit. And Russia's going to move in and take more territory like it always does, like they did with the peninsula of Crimea.
Wow. Yeah, that's it's a sticky wicket, that situation there.
Yeah, it is. And we
Let's
cannot send forces in there because that would be seen upon as an aggressive force for Russia.
Yeah. So yeah, we can only hope that that Vlad is not going to live for that long,
Like
live for much longer. But the sad thing is, he probably will, because he's going to pay himself to the best doctors in Soviet Russia.
Russia. Goddamn it, the man has been in charge of the Russian Federation for more than 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting here like thinking like, why are you not tired?
And he's been the president since 2012.
No, he was the president. You should Google it a bit further in his way, because he before that.
Oh yeah, he was the prime minister before that.
Because you can only
right. He slowly got rid of those oligarchs.
Yeah.
So giving himself more and more power.
In Russia, you can only be president for like 14 years straight, in one term. So, but like what he did was that he just switched power with President Medvedev for a period, or a short period, right? And then he like went straight back up. Took the power again, right? So he has never been in total loss of the total power of Russia. He's just changed it until he could change the law and be like president forever, right? And like the presidential election was like recently, like last year or the year before that, I believe, and he was just like saying to like everybody that was running against him that, I would strongly advise you not to run against me, wink wink, because I might have you fucking killed. Right?
Oh man!
Like, wow, what a democratic Russia, folks.
Yeah. So, oh man. So that's his full name is Vladimir Vladimirovich. Yeah, wait. I'm gonna actually practice that. Vladimirovich Putin. Vladimirovich Putin. Yeah.
I want to ask you, like, if you had been like president of Denmark or wherever the fuck you come from for 10 plus years, and you have 40 billion dollars in your fucking bank accounts, why why the fuck wouldn't you just choose to retire or do something else, do anything, instead of just continuing to be like, yeah, I'm going to continue to be president, hold on to the power I have, and oppress my
I can
people.
answer that.
Yeah,
I can answer that.
Yeah,
because like this is exactly an extension of what we talked about before. Because Putin is an individual. He is not a society. He is not a society that logically thinks, as long as I have enough money, then I will survive until I get 80 years old or 90 years old, and then I will die. That's the logic. That's the logic of a human being, and now and that's the way it is. He's that human beings are not logically like that. Putin is with that much money and with that much intellect, because he is an intellectual motherfucker, and he also is like physically very strong, and with that comes a desire and a fucking often illogical for that ecstasy. For that, he needs to like, what happens if I get more power?
Wow.
I want to try it. Or I want to try it. What happens if I get more power? I believe it is an ecstasy for him to get more power.
That's crazy. Somebody should, like, do something.
Yeah, but as we talked about, it's hard. It's hard to do anything about it. I don't know, and I'm not an expert, so I don't fucking know anything about politics. But I just know that it is an ecstasy for him. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Definitely.
It's a high for him to be president. It's his drug, maybe. Vodka and political power.
I don't even know. Does he drink?
I am pretty sure that he drinks. I can't, like,
because I could totally see him as some sociopath who's just like, I don't like some fucking closed off nerdy sociopath that just walks for himself and just say, I know, drink this shit. You can do whatever you want, but just watch yourself when you're drunk, because I will have you executed.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you can Google this, anybody, if you want to like check up on the source. But a couple of years ago, then the Norwegian Prime Minister at the time went to Russia with his foreign minister, and they met officials in the Russian Federation, such as their foreign minister, which was probably Medvedev at the time, and don't know if Putin was in the room. But how it went down was that the Norwegian officials was just drawing a line on a napkin over the fishing and oil rights for Norway and the fishing and oil rights for Russia, right?
No.
And they sort of like found this funny and be like, okay, but now we drink, and they bust out a bottle of vodka, and that's the reason for why the fishing and oil border between Russia and Norway is the way it is today, because of fucking vodka, and some Russians that thought it was funny.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that concludes the thoughts and fears of Vladimirovich Putin. Vladimirovich Putin. Yeah.
What doesn't sit right with me is that if it is a private billionaire or a private owner of a lot of assets in Russia, then it's like you're either going to be kidnapped, killed, or put in a gulag forever. But if you're a fucking country, if you're a state, then it's okay. Then we don't. Then we choose not to fuck with you.
Say his name 3 times fast. That's a good what do you call it? tongue twister.
Vladimirovich Putin. Vladimirovich Putin. Vladimirovich Putin.
Yeah. Vladimirovich Putin. Vladimirovich Putin. Vladimirovich Putin. And now
That's epic, man. That's epic fuck, man. And like we're staying cool here at the corner. You have anything you want to say, Troy, for the 71st episode that's about to end?
And I think this has been quite insightful. Actually, we've covered a lot of bases, and I was actually positively surprised that we ended up talking about this very interesting topic, ecstasy, which has been heavily researched and studied throughout history, and should be in the future, because it is the basic reference point for AI to see what makes us humans, and that is very probably one of the most important subjects that you can study in all of time, in all of humanity.
Yeah, man.
So and we got into that and got to actually laid a lot of groundwork on this without having planned anything.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I think that was really, really, really cool, actually.
For sure, yo. And we just want to say, like, once again, thank you for all you motherfuckers who want to listen to this episode. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this motherfucking episodes if you want to get motherfucking rich and you want to get motherfucking done. You know what I'm saying? All right.
And if you want to get enlightened and clever,
of course,
and knowledgeable,
and all that shit, getting enlightened, getting, like whatever the word you were saying was. Yeah, man, epic shit. And yeah, again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you all the next time, motherfuckers, and have a nice Easter.